What's going on, locker room? It's Jake. Hey, I'm on fire right now. I just got done speaking to the Ignite class right now, and it's in light of a call that I had the opportunity to lead yesterday. The Greensboro Market Center invited me to speak to about 18 of their agents over the phone because they're all attending Bold right now. And so I wanted to take this material and relay it to you guys because it's really good. And feedback from that class, feedback from this morning's Ignite class, it's really eye-opening, and you can almost feel the energy in the room get a little funky in a good way, because that means people are looking inward, and really it's the message is hitting home with them. So I had to relay this to the entire locker room. So I let it in because they're all in Bold right now, and I kind of teed it up that way. So I'm going to cut to the mustard here with you guys and just ask you a few basic questions. Number one, are you committing to the process? Are you committed to the process of attaining and achieving your goals, that is? Are you committing to that process? Because we can sit here all day and hash out the plan and the goals and feel good about that, yet it's the process, it's the commitment to the repetitious and the boring and the mundane things that it takes to connect the dots. So are you committed? Are you choosing to play all in? And I think you all know what I mean by that. We call this the locker room for a reason, right? Are you playing all in? I mean, honestly, hold the mirror up and say, am I playing all in? And if I'm not getting the results I wanted, who's at fault here? So where's your DNA? And the last question is, you've heard me say this again, is are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? Are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? And so that's a bold law. That makes me think of one of the bold laws, which is fear or faith, you choose, right? And if you look at that, fear or faith, both of them rather, are believing in something that you cannot see. So which are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to play to win, which is faith, in other words? Or are you going to choose to play not to lose, which is fear-based? All right, so I kind of led everybody in that direction. So what is the definition of commitment? If we're talking about commitment, committing to the process, playing all in, what is that definition? The definition is doing what you said you were going to do long after the feeling and emotion in which you said it has passed. Doing what you said you were going to do, integrity, after the feeling and emotion in which you said it has passed. So in other words, I can sit here and Ignite, I can sit here in Bold, or in one of our coaching sessions, maybe New Year's resolution time, and say, I'm going to conquer the world, I'm going to do this, and I'm jacked up, crazy, excited about it. But what happens a month later? Heck, what happens the same day when you leave here and you get your first no? Are you still as committed and fired up about that goal that you said was so important to you? All right. So that's what I want to speak on is, I think it was Brian McCarran gave me the title of Tot, because I say all the time on task over time. Patience with a sense of urgency. And I'm a creature of this habit and belief system, which is 90 days. What I do today will show up in 90 days. At the time of recording this video, we are in the last month of the second quarter. Let that be a wake-up call, because I have a sense, just based on engagement lately, which has really significantly dropped off. Many of you are not scheduling your one-on-ones, you're not showing up to group stuff, you're not engaging in the very activities you did prior to this busy season, and I'm scared for you. I hope I'm wrong. I will happily have you come to my office and say I'm wrong, but my fear is all of you are letting your foot off the pedal of lead generation, in other words, and you're just servicing the business. And I get it, guys. I get it. It is difficult. But that should be a great coaching conversation in the midst of it, to look at your systems and processes of how we can make you better. It's not the time to back off of things like coaching and training, but that's a whole different topic. So here we are, and so what are you doing today that's going to show up in 90 days? We're talking deep into the third quarter, if not even the start of the fourth quarter. So what are you doing or not doing today that you may pay the price for later? I don't care about seasonality. Gary Keller says in the Shift book, the market doesn't dictate our success, it only tells us how we're going to succeed. So some of you, my fear is, are going to catch yourself saying in September, October, November, oh, it's slow, and it must be because of the downturn. Hey, look, I don't care who's president. I don't care what the stock market's doing. I don't care what the real estate market's doing. Seasonality is a mindset. Your time is to check in right now. So everybody else's drunk monkey or everybody else's hallucination that the market is trending downward and just fewer homes being sold, that does not have to be your truth. Because I'd rather have my success based on 100% my daily routine, my activities, and my habits. You can do something and draw a line in the sand right now. Again, that's committing to the process, not just lead receiving while times are good, but still seeing the forest from the trees and being able to look ahead as a visionary and saying, what am I going to do about it now so I don't have that lull in my business and that real estate roller coaster ride in the fall and winter months? Okay? So I'm waving the white towel here. I want you guys to have a healthy level of paranoia. And some of you have heard me talk about this before. This market breeds complacency. It breeds chaos. It breeds bad habits because things just have a tendency, for some of you, to show up. And they fall into your lap and like, oh, this is easy. But what happens when the market shifts? What happens, like we were just saying, when the months or the seasonality is not having the wind behind your back anymore? What are you going to do then? So when I say have a healthy level of paranoia, I want you to think about, what are the conversations I'm not having? So I'm getting good business right now with some mediocre conversations and mediocre levels of contact. What about the ones I'm not having? What's that lost opportunity looking like? And sometimes we just gloss over that because things are good, right? So I've always said that there's two evils in life: boredom and isolation. If you're doing something in this business, I'm convinced you can't get bored because it's a people business. People are emotional creatures. We're unpredictable. So every day is different, right? Every client is different. So boredom, I'm not really worried about. It's the isolation thing that I'm worried about, which is why I'm screaming from the rooftops. Don't disengage, guys. Don't drift away from the pack. The moment you become that lone wolf, you are susceptible to a lot of potentially bad things, right? It's like that whole idle mind sort of deal. And if you think, because you've had some success, and I don't mean this offensively, that all of a sudden you're a master of real estate, or because you've attended one training, you are now the expert on it, you're grossly mistaken. And I would challenge you that if you can't get in front of a room of 100 people and teach that subject matter or recite that script perfectly, you have not mastered anything yet. Therefore, there's always continuous room for improvement there. And so that's what I'm talking about with disengagement. Your one-on-one coaching sessions, attending team meetings, attending the group sessions. Stay plugged in, gang. I've got this on record. I'm warning you, and I have been warning many of you. We want to see your smiling faces, and I say that lovingly. This is a candor conversation. Don't drift away from the pack. Get engaged. I'm telling you. Please, please, please. Not for me, not for Len, not for anybody else. Do it for yourself and your family. Okay? So check this out. Let's go from emotion for a hot minute and get into logic. So if you have a piece of paper, if not, that's okay. Follow me. This is what I just drew on the board for the Ignite class. I want you to write down the number of 5%. Because that is the new number that I hear that Gary Keller's research has shown, that you can expect a 5% return from your database as long as you're communicating with them systematically and frequently with drip campaigns and all that stuff. So if I have a database, in other words, of 100 people, I should expect 5 transactions a year just based on that number alone. That is different from the MREA book, right up there, where in there, if you've read it, it says a 12-to-2 ratio, which is a 17% return. Okay, that is too high. That is not the number anymore. They're saying it's 5%. Okay, so write the number 5% down. In light of something like Bold, or you can use the example with Ignite, of our goal in Ignite is to make 10 contacts a day. 10 contacts a day. It might take you an hour to do. The Bold, which is what, for the sake of example, that I'm going to use today, is 20. It's double that. It's 20 contacts a day during Bold, and we hope after Bold as well. So 1 divided by 20, not sure if this is coincidence or not, but 1 divided by 20 is 5%. How about that? So if I make 20 contacts a day from my database or otherwise, that should result in 1 piece of business. Maybe not now, but eventually, and you can trace that. So my point to you is, what if I approached every day and thought it was okay to make 19 out of 20 contacts? Is that good enough? Some of you have heard the 212 degree example, where 212 degrees is the boiling point of water. At 211 degrees, it's just hot water. But that 1 extra degree, that 1 extra ounce of effort in our example here could make all the difference in the world, because boiling water produces steam, and steam can power a locomotive. It's a big deal. It's a time on task over time thing. I preach consistency more than anything, probably through my coaching efforts here. So back to it. If I approached the day and I said, hey, look, my goal is 20 contacts, and I've had a long day, I'm going to check out, it's too hard. Shoot, I've made 19. Nobody's going to know if I made that one extra contact or not. Are you okay with that? And I want to show you the long-term effects. If you look at the long-term effects of that, knowing that to be true at 5%, 1 out of 20, do some quick math with me. If there's 52 weeks out of the year, I want you to take 52 times 5 days a week, 5 working days a week. You do that math, it's 260. So there's 260 working days in a year that you should be lead generating, by the way. So 260. If I divide that by 20, because I'm going to argue for every 20 days where you fall one short, I'm making 19 out of 20 contacts. For every 20 days you do that, that's one missed piece of business. That's the compound effect. So over the course of a year, if you do 260 divided by 20, that's 13 pieces of business that you have missed. Take 13 then times an average gross commission income of $6,000, that's $78,000 a year that you have lost out on because you made a choice. You made a decision to fall just one short of the goal by making 19 out of 20 contacts a day. I don't know about you, but I can do a whole lot with an extra $78,000. And your family, if you had to go home and look your spouse or your child in the eye and say, mom fell short today, dad fell short today, but it's okay. And that equates to a lot of trips to Disney World. I don't know about you, but I'd have a hard time looking my children in the eye doing that. Okay? So here's my last and final thought. I want you to go back to what I've said in an earlier video. You can look it up. I want you to think about winning the decision. If you win the decision in the moment, win the decision in the moment. What that means is you have now won the day. And if I win the day, I'm going to win the week. And if I win the week, I'm going to win that month. And doggone it, if I win that month, I'm going to win the quarter. If I win the quarter, I'm going to win the year. Win the decision. It starts with deciding. And you've heard me say this. Look at the root word decide. The side itself literally means to kill off. So when you make that decision in the moment to be great and to commit to going all in and not pulling up 1 degree short, what you just killed off is mediocrity, doubt, fears, the haters who are saying that you're not good enough and you can't do it, you're drowning out the noise. Those are all those things you're killing off because you committed to the process. So decide right now in the moment to win that decision, and you're going to win the day, so on and so forth. So guys, I hope you made it through to watch this video. This could be a life changer for you. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We wouldn't tell our kids it's okay to get a B plus versus an A, or to skip 2nd grade and go straight to 3rd grade. We wouldn't do that. So why are we telling ourselves the story that it's okay because we're an adult now? All right. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm coming at you. I'm going to challenge you guys. Commit to the process, win the decision in the moment, and the rest will take care of itself. I love you guys. Stay true to who you are, stay authentic, commit to the process, and you're going to like where you're at in a year. See you guys. Bye.